You mentioned about altering your shift and altering your work habits and so forth, and that leads to the next question. Will you be running transit significantly earlier than normal so that volunteers can make early Olympic shifts via transit?
Yeah. We've worked very closely with VANOC, and a lot of the early morning shifts, we don't believe we need to start the system up earlier than we normally do based on the starting times of the events and such. And again, we've worked very closely with VANOC on this. We are considering, it's not that it's done, actually in one case, because of the launch up to Whistler, we may look at extending C-Bus's hours and maybe starting them a little bit earlier. But that's the only one that we think we're actually going to need to start, I'll call super early. Because remember, your normal start of the system's around 5:15. We're kind of launching the trains out of there. So the way the events are. So in the morning, that the rush hour is less of a concern. The window of 2 to 7 p.m. at night is the primary one that is the one we're spending a lot of time on. Because we think with the extra 30% SkyTrain capacity, the Canada Line capacity, the other things, yes, you may have lineups to get there, and that's where we need everybody's help to plan on more time, but the system will be able to accommodate it.
And getting there earlier, it means getting on the train earlier, and so far looks like the trains are. Do we have the flexibility in the system to alter that if it looks like it's going to be an issue?
Yeah, we will have some flexibility. I think one of the challenges in the case of the Canada Line is a brand new system, and we've run these before ourselves, is the Canada Line hours at night will stay the same. They'll close the last train, if you will, out of Waterfront will be about 1:15 in the morning. The Expo Millennium Line will be about 2:15 in the morning because they need the maintenance time as a brand new system to really get their work done for the next day. Aside from that, we'll have to monitor it. We'll also, and I'm glad you raised this, that we'll also be increasing night bus service quite significantly to help offset some of that, those extra surges that might come even at the end. And we are working with the different bars and those celebrating to make sure that, hey, they'll start winding those things down. The Olympic celebrations will typically be over by 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay.
Then some of the bars will try and target by around 1 o'clock in the morning. So people have an hour plus to plan to get out of town.
That's a help.
So plus night bus being overlaid on top of that. So quite a significant number of service coming. So,
right.
But we will be running with all these extra train cars. What you might see on SkyTrain, part of I think it was Jeff's question, was really around on the SkyTrain Expo Millennium Line. We'll be running the equivalent of what you might see as a 2-car Mark II car that pulls into the station today. Most all of those will be 4-car Mark IIs, or the older cars will probably 6-car Mark Is.
Right.
So they're basically can sweep a flat platform for every car, and those will be running in peak service probably around 108 seconds from Waterfront out to Columbia.
Columbia.
Because that splits off the Millennium Expo line, right? And probably from Broadway down, because we try and insert, sometimes it's down as low as about 81 seconds.
Okay.
So we really got it down pretty tight now, and so
81.
Yeah,
that is tight.
To Broadway. So it's probably one of the tightest in the world.
That's about as tight as it can get, too. Just in case anybody's wondering why doesn't the train come more often.